excerpt from William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. And in this early scene, Act 1, Scene 2, we see Mark Antony offering the dictator, Julius Caesar, a crown. And this took place in the early months of 44 BC. Julius Caesar had defeated had slaughtered and defeated most of the Republicans, the pro-Republican soldiers and senators, and he was offered a crown, and he refused it. And of course, all that was make believe. It was a trick. It was actually a trick, and he was actually saying, "See, I don't want to be a dictator. I don't want to be a king. I just want to be consul for life, consul for every year." Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a king, but I'm a king. I'm not a dictator, but I'm a dictator. So that's what he was saying, and along with his good friend Mark Antony. And so in this scene, we have Marcus Brutus, who descended from his great-great-great-great-grandfather, was the person who overthrew the tyrants of Rome, and he formed. We're talking about the elderly Marcus Brutus. He formed the First Republic in 510 BC. And he's talking with his good friend Cassius Longinus. Cassius Longinus was the person who saved what was left of the Roman army when Marcus Crassus was defeated as a praetor, and he took it back to Rome. And he defeated the Persians on several occasions, and he took it back, and he was a hero. So we are in early 44. Julius Caesar has been a dictator for like 15 years, roughly 15 years. And the scene goes like this. What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king. Crown, you see. Cassius, aye. Do you fear it? Then must I think you will not have it so? Brutus, I will not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me, if I be aught towards the general good? Set honour in one eye, and death eye the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honour more than I fear death. Cassius replies. Now this scene is a great scene. He talks about Aeneas, Anchises, the founders of Rome, and he even talks about the early days of Caesar in Spain as a praetor, 60 BC. Now, I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favour. Well, honour is the subject of my story. I cannot tell you what you and other men think of this life, for my single self, I had as lief not be as live to be, in awe of such a thing as myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both had fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber, chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, Dart'st thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood, and swim to yonder point? Upon the word, acculturated as I was, I plunged in, and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent rode, and we did buffet it, with lusty sinews, throwing it aside, and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive at the point proposed, Caesar cried, Help me, Cassius, or I sink. Help me, Cassius, or I sink. I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, the guy who founded Rome, did for the flames of Troy upon his shoulder, the old Anchises bear, his father. So from the waves of Tiber did I, the tired Caesar, and this man is now becoming a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body. If Caesar carelessly but not in him, he had a fever when he was in Spain at 60 BC, when he was a praetor. And when the fit was on him, I did mark, how did he shake? 'Tis true, this god did shake, his coward lip did from the colour fly. And that same eye, whose bend doth all the world, did lose his lustre, I did hear him groan. Aye, and that tongue of his, that bade the Romans mark him, and I write his speeches in their books. Alas, it cried, give me some drink, Titinius, a sick girl, as a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me, a man of such feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world, and bear the palm alone. Now in the background they hear more shouting. You see? Mark Antony is offering Caesar the crown. Brutus, another general shout, I do believe that these applauses are for some new honours that are heaped upon Caesar. Cassius, why man, he doth destroy the narrow world. Like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonourable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings, Brutus and Caesar. What should be that Caesar? Why should that name be sounding more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them. It doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them. It is as heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will start the spirit as soon as Caesar. Now the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed? That he is grown so great. Age, thou art shammed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age since the great flood? It was famed with more than when this man. When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that had wide walls and can pass but one man? Now, is it Rome indeed, and room enough, when there is in it but only one man? Oh, you, and I have heard of our fathers say, there was a Brutus once, so that's the Brutus vote, that would have brute the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king. Brutus replies, that you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this, and all these times, I shall recount hereafter. For this present, I will not so with love I might entreat you. Be any further moved. What you have said, I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear and find aid to the time. Both need to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome. Under these hard conditions at this time, it is like to lay upon us. Cassius, I am glad that my weak words have struck, but thus much show of fire from Brutus. So, here we see Cassius Longinus longing for the old republic, longing for the days before the 59 BC coup made by Julius Caesar, Marcus Crassus and Pompey, the days of the good republic. Now the civil wars, the coups, the civil wars have been on for like 15 years, and Cassius Longinus is telling his good friend Marcus Brutus to kill Caesar and bring back the old republic. And so they thought it would be that easy.
Marcus Junius Brutus
the man who murdered Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was murdered in March of 44 BC. Dictator for 15 years, almost 15 years.